Okay, I'm back. Finally watched The Valley. Oh my gosh. Man, was that a freaking hot mess or what? Hopefully I could read my notes. And I'm tired. So it starts out with the girls' suite. And Kristen's still sick. And, because this was the end of Schwartzy's party, and they go up to the girls' suite. And then, like I said, Kristen didn't join them. She was sick in her room. And Lala starts with Danny saying, "You liked posts that were negative towards Janet and Jason." Something about, Lala called it cucking, but I guess it's called cuckolding, where the man likes to watch his partner be with other men. And honestly, Danny wasn't the only one that liked um that. I don't remember seeing it, so I know I didn't like it. But other people have, and total strangers have. So, you know, I just don't understand what is with Janet. Um, and this is Schwartzy's party. They were there to play a game in the girls' suite. And Jesse's like, I don't think this was a very good idea for Lala. The timing was not good. I don't think so either. And I like Lala, but um I'm a little disappointed in well, how the whole group is acting. It's like, you know, can't we all get along? And Zach had a lot to drink, and he was saying stuff going off, and Jasmine was shushing him, and that just set him off even more. And Zach admits, hey, we all have like stuff. And and he says that people don't take ownership of things, and this is why we have the issues with everybody. And because nobody will pipe up. And then Zach was doing the you to everyone, and left and went to his room. He shares um he shares a room with Benji and Tom. And in the room he says this group is so vicious and no resolution and blinding. Or no, I'm sorry. That was Danny. So yeah, Zach was just tired of it, of you know constant at each other, no resolution. Danny, back to Danny talking, and he said, it was defaming his character. He is an actor, he does do voiceovers in that, so he feels like it was going to affect his livelihood. And he said he's got, you know, trauma and PTSD from it, and seeing a therapist. And Janet, why? I don't get it. She, I see two sides of her. She seems to be nicey nice, and then when stuff starts going down, then she's just like on the attack. And not just Danny, just like other people too. And I feel bad for Schwartzy for his birthday. Poor guy didn't even get a cake. And then Danny brings Brittany in it because he said that, Jax had a target on their back last season. And, Brittany was affiliated with Jax. And then Brittany's getting all upset. And she's like, I did not have anything to do with that. So, but before Jax left the podcast with Brittany, he did say stuff, and Brittany didn't say anything. So, in Danny's eyes, she was an accessory. And Danny claims that Danny and Nia went back to their room, and he was claimed to Nia, you weren't sticking up for me. And she was like, well, they did have a talk again the next morning, and she explained to him that, and she apologized to him that it seemed like she didn't have his back. And that was it for the night, because then the next day, it's Zach's birthday. Him and Benji are at the pool, and then Jasmine and Melissa join, and then Lala comes. Danny and Luke too come, and they talked about the night before, and how messed up it was, and Zach, how drunk Zach was, and they kind of flipped back and forth between the ones that stayed behind and the ones that left for shopping, which I didn't get to that yet. Okay. So, back to the girls' suite in the morning. Michelle is jump roping, but it's not a jump rope. It's these cool things you put in your hands. Some have like a rope hanging out of it, some don't. And you move it with your arms, and it's like you're actually jump roping. It's in my Amazon cart, which, speaking of, I need to order some stuff before Amazon Prime is done. And so then Luke is fishing, and Danny walks up, and they're talking about the night before. Of course, Lala walks up, and she had heard some stuff, and then she's piping in, and Danny, is expressing, that his character was affected and defamed, and, didn't like it. And honestly, I don't think Lala cared that, which I think was rude. And then we go back to the pool, and Brittany comes, and her and Zach have a talk because, like I said, Zach got really drunk, and he says, I don't yell like that when I'm not drunk. And they're like, yeah, we know. And he says, I've just, he just reached his breaking point, but he apologized. And then they're discussing the hiding and the lying of Danny drinking. And Jasmine says, you need to bring that up to him. And he said, I will. And the people that went shopping was Michelle, Janet, Jesse, Nia, Kristen, and Tom. And they took a bus, and they're asking how Kristen was, and she said, she had the anxiety with Kaya, that she screamed for 2 hours, and she didn't feel right leaving Kaya with her sister and brother-in-law. And I mean, I'm glad Kristen got out. I felt bad for her though, you know, poor thing. And then they get into discussion about the liked post, and Kristen says, others liked it too. This was in her, when they do a little interview, and I think it's after they viewed episodes, then, you see them being interviewed in like the chair or the couch or whatever. And Nia was arguing with Janet that it was her words, her exact words, that made it sound awful. And she feels Janet's not sorry, and that her apology wasn't real. And I just not liking Janet. I don't know how everyone else feels. I am just not liking her. And Lala, Danny, and Luke joined the pool party. And that's when Zach confronts Danny about the drinking and said, did you have a drink at my party? And Danny admitted, yes, I did. But he's also saying, because of what's going on, he's afraid to do this, and that because people are going to be uncomfortable. So he's like, I don't know what I can or cannot do because people are going to be uncomfortable. And you could tell Lala does not like Danny or Nia. And it's sad. So back to the gang. They're actually, after shopping, they are sitting down to eat. And I don't know how this come about, but colonics. Jesse used to do colonics. And yeah, I'm not going to get into what it is, but yuck. I wouldn't want to see what came out, but yuck. And Nia and Janet again. And she didn't appreciate the one. This was earlier in the season when they were at dinner at, I'm trying to think, was it Brittany's house? It was one of the girls' house. And that Janet was talking about people with alcohol problems to Nia, and Nia did not appreciate that. And Kristen says, the ones who have drinking problems is Zach and Brittany and Jasmine. All three are hot messes. And while she's saying that, there's Janet on her phone texting Brittany and saying, oh my God, the stuff that's being said about you guys here. So now you see what I mean? She's starting trouble. And oh, I'm sorry, that just pissed me off. And earlier, Janet had called Jason, her husband. He stayed behind and complained to him about it, about what's going on. And then Janet's getting upset and crying, and Jesse makes a comment, and she calls him a dumb prick, and you're in debt $500,000, you're an idiot. And Jesse calls her a deflector, and Janet and Nia get into it. And Janet walks away from the table because she's feeling overwhelmed. And like I said, she calls Jason, and Tom felt bad for her, so he walks up to her. And back to the table, Jesse said that she doesn't take accountability or vulnerability. And maybe if she did, people would like her. So far, Jesse's girlfriend hasn't made it there yet to Mexico, so I'm thinking maybe the next one, she'll be there. But they showed Danny and Nia, and Danny pretty much, feeling like, I guess they were dancing. He goes, I'm not dancing. I'm not going to do any kind of twerking because I'll be accused of doing something. I really feel bad for Danny and Nia. And Janet keeps putting it out there. Oh, they're so perfect. They're so perfect. And I'm like, they've never said that. And I don't feel like they act like they're perfect. Man, they have 4 kids under 4. They're, trying to have a good time. And it's drama, drama, drama. So if they're coming back next season, if they don't have Jason and Janet on, maybe there won't be drama. Because it doesn't seem like when Danny was talking to the group at the pool, it doesn't seem like there's issues. Just don't lie or hide your drinking, And Janet made a comment to Nia that he did weird stuff and he still is, and that's, when Nia, she had it. So, I think they're recording the, reunion for the Valley. I don't know how many episodes. I'm thinking, let's see, maybe crap. I'm trying to think how many episodes was last season. I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 more episodes. And then the reunion, I think, will only be 2. But they haven't announced the renewal of 4th season. So we'll see. And I apologize if you hear my dogs in the background messing around. It's kind of too late for them to be playing this hard. So, all right. Have a good night, everyone. Or a good morning whenever you listen to this. Bye.